Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches: Memphis Grizzlies versus New York Knicks and Chicago Bulls versus Philadelphia 76ers, which are happening on Monday, May 3, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. So I am going to start off by talking about the Memphis Grizzlies versus New York Knicks match. In a tight four-team race for the numbers 4 to 7 seeds in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks' recent hot streak has them leading the group. New York is far from in the clear though, as it's just 1.5 games ahead of the 7th seed and a trip to the play-in tournament. The Knicks have the fourth most difficult remaining schedule, which makes the Grizzlies one of the weaker teams New York plays per Tankathon. Getting a win here would provide wiggle room as the season draws to an end. The situation for Memphis is even more intense than in New York. The Grizzlies are in a three-way competition for the 8th seed in the Western Conference, and the battle is within one half game. The advantage to being the 8th seed is huge, since getting one win in the play-in tournaments guarantees a playoff spot. Memphis has the third easiest remaining schedule per Tankathon. It will be up to them to take advantage and get the simplest route to a spot in the playoffs. Since the beginning of April, New York has found a way to take its play from good to great. The big change has come on the offensive end. On the year, New York ranks way down at 20th in offensive rating, but that ranking is all the way down to 3rd in April, according to Basketball Reference. Pairing this Knicks offense with their already hard-nosed defense propelled them to the highest net rating in the NBA in April. With all cylinders firing, New York could give the Eastern Conference elites a run for their money in the playoffs. The player leading the charge for the revived defense has been Julius Randle. His 27.1 points per game ranked 11th in the NBA in April, and it's 4 more than his average for the rest of the year. Memphis continues to accurately reflect their .500 record by having up and down games. Their two most recent games, for example, were against the Magic, a team tanking. In the first, they handled business and won by 17, but, in the second, struggled and lost by 1. Some of Memphis' instability comes from what started the year as its strength, defense. Before the All-Star break, the Grizzlies had a fierce defense ranking 8th defensive rating per NBA.com. In April, that fell to 16th. The Grizzlies' offense flipped the exact opposite way in terms of production. Before the All-Star break, Memphis ranked 19th in offensive rating, but that jumped to 9th in April. The Knicks and Grizzlies both entered the year as young teams built to play a gritty style. Memphis started the year hotter, but New York has hit its stride at the right time. New York will need to overcome the challenges of playing on a back-to-back, but Tim Thibodeau always has his players ready for these situations. Making things better is their opponent Sunday night is the Rockets, so the starters may have a chance to rest to end the game. New York may have ended its impressive cover streak against the Suns, but 11 of 12 is still impressive. That stat assumes they maintain against the Rockets. The stats back the covers too, as they have been the best recently according to net rating. I think they keep on rolling before the schedule gets rough. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Knicks. The Memphis Grizzlies have been in a bit of a rut as they've lost 5 of their past 8 games, and they will be hoping to bounce back after falling painfully short to the slumping Magic in a 112-111 road loss on Saturday. Dillon Brooks led the team in scoring with 23 points on 9 of 20 shooting. Ja Morant added 22 points with 7 assists. Kyle Anderson scored 21 points while Jonas Valanciunas chipped in with 11 points, 16 rebounds and 3 blocks. The Grizzlies haven't been anywhere near their best lately, and their confidence must have taken a hit from their heartbreaking loss to the slumping Magic on Saturday, while the Knicks had been one of the hottest teams in the league and just made light work of the Rockets last night. Grayson Allen is listed as questionable for the Grizzlies, while Nerlens Noel will miss some time for the Knicks after his nasty fall last night. Opponents focusing on Randle has helped open the court for the shooters in New York too. The Knicks have shot well all year. making 38.7% of their three-point shots. They still shoot sparingly from beyond the arc, though, as they attempt a mere 29.7 per game. Creating open shots for the shooters, Randall's play bumped their attempts up to 32.7 per game in April, per NBA.com. With New York's extremely efficient shooting, this uptick has given its offense a big boost. Against Memphis, the Knicks will need to play their methodical pace and continue protecting the ball. New York ranks 7th in turnovers committed, which completely counters Memphis's aggressive defense, which generates the most steals. One of the drivers of the change throughout the year has been Memphis' ability to force turnovers. Before the All-Star break, the Grizzlies smothered teams, forcing 10.1 steals per game, far and away the best per NBA.com. In April, they were down nearly 2 steals per game to 8.4, dropping them to 11th. New York may be one of the tougher teams to find their defense against, since they protect the ball very well. The teams that tend to give New York trouble recently have shot well from behind the arc. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over. Now I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls versus Philadelphia 76ers match. The Chicago Bulls have been in a real funk lately, as they've lost 4 of their last 5 games, and they will be hoping to avoid a 4th straight loss after getting routed by the Hawks in a 108-97 road loss on Saturday. Thaddeus Young led the team with 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Patrick Williams added 19 points, while Kobe White and Thomas Satoransky each scored 12 points. As a team, the Bulls shot 47% from the field and just 6 of 24 from the three-point line, as they poured in 37 points in the second quarter to lead by as many as 11 points in the first half, before watching that lead disappear in the third quarter, where they were outscored by 28-12. Lauri Markkanen scored just 7 points on 3 of 10 shooting, while White shot just 5 of 16 from the field. The Philadelphia 76ers have been building nicely, as they've won 8 of their past 12 games, and they will be aiming to build on their current 4-game win streak after outlasting the Spurs in a 113-111 overtime road win last night. Joel Embiid led the team with 34 points and 12 rebounds on 13 of 24 shooting. Seth Curry added 22 points on 8 of 10 shooting, while Dwight Howard chipped in with 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks off the bench. As a team, the 76ers shot just 44% from the field and 11 of 30 from the three-point line, as they squandered an 11-point fourth-quarter lead, before making up for it in overtime, where they escaped with the win on a clutch tip shot from Ben Simmons at the buzzer. The 76ers are clearly the team in better form when compared to the Bulls, but they're playing this one on 0 days rest, so I wouldn't be surprised if a few players were to be rested for this one. This would usually be a good spot to spring an upset against the 76ers, but the Bulls have lost 3 in a row. Zach LaVine is still out, and Nikola Vucevic is listed as questionable. My betting advice for that game is to pick Philadelphia 76ers. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.